Poland is a country with many faces. It can delight you with its natural beauty, amaze you with its modernity, or interest you with its rich history. The busy streets of the big cities are full of life, and majestic nature can soothe your troubled nerves. In the last few decades, Poland has undergone an unprecedented metamorphosis and has become a possibility for many countries. Discover the stories of people who left their homeland and chose Poland as their new home. What did they expect? What did they discover? What made them so determined to stay here? Our heroes will answer these questions. Immigrants from all over the world who built their new lives in Poland. Today we will visit Poznań, a city located in the west of the country, where more than 500,000 people live. And among them is a man from overseas, who begins his day with a short warm-up.
My name's William Heeman. I'm from the U.S., from the United States, specifically from the southern state of Arkansas, and I have been living in Poland with my wife for about the last 10 years. So I promised myself I would get a run-in today because last night I ate a golonka. Do you know what that is? Polish pork knuckle. Very delicious, very fatty. So I'm gonna have a guilty conscience unless I burn that sucker off. Right near downtown Poznań is the Warta River, which is so close, but really it seems like a world away because you have that greenery, that peace. My wife and I were living in Gdańsk for about 9 years, so that's where, as a runner, I got to enjoy the beaches, the Baltic Sea, the Bay of Gdańsk. Of course, I miss that, but for me, the Warta River has been a really nice alternative to get some fresh air and some green spaces. Oh, well, that wasn't my longest or fastest run, but I think that'll do today. Hopefully I put a dent in that golonka. I love running because it really puts things into perspective, At the beginning of a day, I may be stressed out about work or school, but then you go out on a run, you may see a rare bird, you may see a funny-looking dog. The other day I was on a run and I was kind of struggling, and I ran past this senior citizen, this guy probably in his 80s, but he was beaming at me, just smiling at me, and he held up his fist like this. Now, he wasn't threatening me. What he was doing was crossing his fingers for me, wishing me good luck on my run. So I thought that, in the U.S., we cross our fingers like this, but in Poland, they go like this. They put their thumbs under their fists. And they say Polish people are closed off and don't like to smile. Look, guys, I'm gonna run home, go grab a shower, and we'll see each other in a bit. Sound good? Now, I know we just met, we've barely had time to get to know each other, but I'm actually set to meet my dear friends Isabel and Marisha. We're going to one of my favorite coffee shops in town where they serve delicious breakfast and tasty coffee. And after that long run today, I have worked up a hankering for a cold, sweet, iced coffee. So why don't you join us? Cześć,
O,
cześć.
jest William.
Hej,
O, cześć, William.
Cześć, Marysia.
William.
Dobrze cię widzieć. Cześć, cześć, Izabela. Cześć, co u was słychać?
Cieszę się, że w końcu udało nam się
No,
razem spotkać.
Tak,
Byłeś
ja
ostatnio
też się
bardzo
cieszę.
zajęty.
Zamówiłyście mi kawę?
Aha.
Już? O, super. So you may be wondering why my friends and I are speaking Polish together. You know, we're all from different countries, and often it's assumed that English is the main universal language, that people from different countries only, you know, or mainly communicate in English together. But for us, Polish is a shared language, and when I meet up with Isabella or with Marysia, we're not speaking English, we're speaking Polish.
Biegałeś dzisiaj tak jak zwykle?
No, trochę krótsze biegałam, tak, ale mam bieg już za sobą. Właśnie wczoraj zjadłem golonkę, więc musiałam to spalić te kalorie, ale... So Marysia has been a private language tutor of mine for the last several years, and she has helped me with a number of projects. She helped me take a few of the official language certification exam. A co u was słychać?
Właśnie jestem na urlopie, więc sobie odpoczywam,
super.
tak.
No, fajnie.
William jest osobą
William is a very
bardzo
open person and he's full of
i
optimism.
zaraża swoim optymizmem. Za każdym
Every
razem,
time he
kiedy
approaches a task or a project, he does it with full commitment, with all his heart, with great curiosity.
Z ogromną ciekawością. A u ciebie, jak William, zdałeś wszystkie egzaminy?
Chyba tak, wszystko zaliczone, mam wszystkie oceny i no bardzo się cieszę, po prostu czuję taką ulgę teraz. So I haven't told you this yet, but I'm actually a student at the graduate program for Polish philology for foreigners at Adam Mickiewicz University. Isabella?
Nie, wszystko jest w porządku.
Tak?
Pracuję
A
normalnie.
sesję masz ze sobą, tak?
Mam ze sobą.
Jest tylko masz pracę. Isabella is a fellow student. We go to class together.
A William jest sympatyczny,
William is nice,
otwarty
open and social.
i towarzyski.
Ja niestety już się żegnam z wami. Właśnie mam kolejne spotkanie z panią profesor na uniwersytecie, ale naprawdę miło was zobaczyć. Trzymajcie się.
Fajnie, że znalazłeś dla nas czas.
Tak.
Powodzenia.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Dzięki za spotkanie, William.
Dzięki. To ja dziękuję. Do zobaczenia.
Cześć,
Trzymajcie
na razie.
się. So you know a little bit about me now. You've even met some of my friends, but I guess I should take you back to the reasons why I wound up here in Poland in the first place. I am a huge fan of classic movies, and I think it was about age 11, 10 or 11, when I started watching the James Bond pictures, and I saw Agent 007 traveling across the world and sometimes using foreign languages. I thought, oh, someday I want to do that. Not necessarily be a spy, but to travel to new foreign lands, even pick up some languages. One day I got the idea, you know, I was trying to apply for jobs in different countries. Nothing was turning up. So one day, imagine my surprise when I open up this jobs page that I'd looked at 100 times, never found anything that I could possibly apply for. And there was a job opening for a technical writer, the position that I was currently working at in Gdansk, Poland. I didn't exactly know where Gdansk was or much about Poland, but I thought this may be my chance. I felt like that it was just kind of fate, you know, fate had intervened. Can you imagine studying in a building like this? Sometimes I really have to pinch myself that this is the place that I'm doing my studies. In the US, I studied at 4 different institutions. I kind of bounced around between colleges, but I can assure you that none of them looked as special, as just brilliant as this place. So it was about 2 years ago that I found out at the University of Adam Mickiewicz in Poznań, there's a program called Polish Philology for Foreigners. And basically that's a way for foreigners to deepen their knowledge of the Polish language and culture. So ever since I heard about this program, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I talked to my wife about it, and it was a kind of big ask, you know, to ask her to leave our life in Gdansk, where we had spent the last 9 years, to move to a new city so I could start this program at age 37. But she heard me out and agreed. You know, we finally came to the conclusion that this is the right choice. And now I just feel so happy that I'm here and pursuing this dream of mine that won't let me sleep at night. Dzień dobry, pani profesor.
O, dzień dobry. Dzień dobry, panie Williamie.
Bardzo dziękuję za spotkanie. Chciałem oddać pracę, konspekt.
Co my tu mamy?
Przepraszam, że trochę zwlekałem z tym. Professor Małgorzata Zduniak, she was one of the first professors I met at the university. She's the one who wrote to me, encouraged me to apply. So I really credit her with my winding up here in Poznań. But she's just an incredibly interesting and talented professor.
No ale jest sesja, czyli mam konspekt i ten rozdział metodologiczny, tak?
Tak, wszystko pani teraz ma.
Wow, super, dziękuję. Na naszym kierunku studiuje spora liczba osób.
A large number of our students come from our neighboring Slavic countries, from Ukraine, which is more understandable nowadays in a war situation.
Tej wojennej.
Similarly with the Belarusian students.
Ale też mamy.
But we also have a large number of students from China. Our university, but not only, the universities in Poland also opened up to students from China at some point. So we have a lot of Chinese and Chinese students in this direction. But they're also completely different nationalities, apart from the groups I mentioned. We have students from the USA, from Iceland, so there's a bit of it.
Dobrze, no to trochę tego jest. Ja będę czytała i chyba we wrześniu się umówimy, dobrze?
Świetnie.
No, to dziękuję
Super.
i wszystkiego
Bardzo
dobrego.
pani dziękuję.
Do zobaczenia.
Wzajemnie. Do zobaczenia.
Jesienią. Do widzenia.
Do widzenia. So the meeting with my professor was the only big item I had on today's to-do list, so I can spend the rest of the day chilling out and having fun. So this is actually where we rent our apartment in Poznań. We're living in the heart of the historical center, and I just love living here. I mean, we see amazing architecture right out the window. Everywhere there's incredible cafes. There are people here. It's really fun to live where the action is happening. But I think my wife is waiting on me. It's been a long day, so I'm gonna go check on her and see what she's doing.
I'm Abby Heeman. I am Will's wife. We've been together for 14 years now. We've been married for 10, so it's been a wonderful, long ride. So I met William when we were both at university. He had been to a few universities by that point, but he finally settled in Arkansas, and I was lucky enough to meet him there. We were both on the student newspaper. I was the editor, and he likes to call himself the errand boy, but really he was actually a really talented features writer and could manage to go to any number of, let's say, relatively boring events, like random classical events or other such kind of boring lectures, let's say, that most college students weren't too keen to attend and actually report on. But he always turned around such an interesting, funny, compelling story, which was really what drew me to him, I would say, in the first place, was just his really funny and fun personality.
This is not only our home, this is also our office. Both my wife and I work remotely. I've been working remotely for many years, long before the pandemic.
So I got to Poland about 1 month after Will moved. I was recently out of my own graduate studies and hadn't really had a professional job yet, and thankfully came across a Polish company that was looking to hire an English speaker. So that was pretty much my only qualification at that point. And so they actually then were able to sponsor my work permit and be the way in which we established a legal working means here in Poland.
We really felt at home in Gdańsk. In the first 2 years we lived there, we just had the time of our lives. But despite that, there was something about home that was calling us back. We thought long and hard about it, and we decided to move back to the US.
And even though we went back to the US, I was thankful to get to remain working for this Polish company remotely. And it was actually then that I got to pivot to a marketing role, which is what I'm still in today. And every 6 months, they would fly me back to Gdańsk to visit with everyone and hold some meetings. My first business trip back, I landed in Gdańsk and was taking a taxi to our old neighborhood to stay in a hotel. This was home. And that was so odd, actually leaving my home state of Arkansas to come visit this place I had only lived for a couple of years, but I just knew in my heart, this is our place. And so I actually got back from that business trip and told William, oh my God, we have to go back.
I had a sweet tooth this morning, but now suddenly I have a craving for a tomato sandwich. But, oh my goodness. I don't think this will cut it for a tomato sandwich, what I had in mind.
That's all we've got.
Well, I started making myself a sandwich, but we don't have any vegetables.
I know, we're out. It's time. You haven't been to the fresh market in like a week.
I think I'm gonna have to go over to Plac Wielkopolski and buy some real tomatoes.
And you
not
know
just these.
also what season it is.
Oh, of course. What, strawberries? What are you thinking of?
Cherries.
Oh, that's right. Strawberry season is
We
already
need
up.
a kilogram, at least.
Of course,
Okay.
at least a kilogram.
Yeah.
We'll see what I find there. We'll see.
Don't come
Tomatoes are the priority, but we'll see if maybe I pick up some.
We'll see if I let you in the house
Oh.
without cherries.
Well, in that case, I better get some.
Please, thank you.
Well, should I give this to the dog or what?
No, he's already eating.
My wife and I are absolutely crazy about these markets, these fresh markets where you can buy fresh produce, vegetables, and fruit. And you know, the fruit and vegetables you buy here is so much, like 1,000,000 times tastier than what you can find in a supermarket. I think 2 is enough, but I might just go for 3, just to be safe. And my rule of thumb is the uglier the tomato, the tastier. So we'll get these. Czy mogę poprosić właśnie o te? Dziękuję, panie bardzo. Growing up in the US, you drive to one great big supermarket, a gigantic chain of supermarkets that everyone goes to for groceries. So imagine my surprise where in Poland, you realize that there are these green markets, these places where you can go to find produce, you know, vegetables and fruit that taste so much better than whatever you can find in any supermarket in Europe and especially in the US. So, and it just has these markets have a completely different atmosphere. You know, of course, mainly older people go to them, but not only. I think that Polish people really appreciate the access to these much higher quality products. So I already found what's most important, you know, my tomatoes and cherries. But I've got to admit, I'm tempted by these antiques. Usually at these markets, you can find, you know, not only fresh produce, but you can find all sorts of cool treasures. Even Pikachu, I'm tempted by that, thinking about it. Let's see if they have any old books. I love collecting. I think it was meant to be Podręczny słownik polsko-angielski. Chyba I have to buy this, I think, for my studies, so I can learn some more Polish. So, ile kosztuje? 10 zł. Super. Bardzo dziękuję. Dziękuję. You know what? I said I already bought what's most important, the produce, even a dictionary for myself, but I'm a fool. I need to buy my wife some flowers. We're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary together, so I think I better buy her favorite flowers. Oh, I think she would like those there. Przepraszam bardzo. Dzień dobry. Czy to są bukiety przygotowane już? Ja bym poprosił tak jeden. Tak. Piękne są. Super. My wife will like these, I think. Thank you. Another one of my favorite parts about life in Poland is just going to my favorite pubs, cafes, restaurants. It's at places like this where you can really meet some amazing people. So our life here isn't only about remote work, graduate studies, running. In the night, we like to let loose a little bit, get a little goofy. And Poland, Poznań in particular, has no shortage of amazing restaurants, coffee shops, bars. And tonight, we just so happen to be going out to one of our favorite pubs in town. So, yeah, after a busy day, what a great way to relax, doing one of our shared passions, which is drinking a nice cold beer. So if you go to the same place regularly and you're respectful, chances are the people there are going to open up to you. Maybe they're curious about who you are, where you're from, what kind of accent is that, my American accent when I speak Polish. Cześć, Oliwia.
Hej, cześć, co tam?
Dzięki, wszystko dobrze, co u ciebie słychać?
Po staremu, stara bieda.
Jak sesję, już masz to ze sobą skończone?
Tak.
Gratulacje.
Tak. Dziękuję.
Super. Właśnie, ja też mam skończoną sesję, więc przyszliśmy świętować. Americans, maybe tourists from other countries too, across the globe, often pick the same exact travel destinations in Europe. Paris, let's say, Rome. But I would encourage people to consider a destination like Poland where you'll get, I promise, you'll get a more authentic experience. You'll get to try an amazing cuisine. You'll get to see natural beauty that rivals or beats the natural beauty of some of the more popular Western European destinations. And if you are open, if you come here with an open mind and are respectful, you're going to have an authentic experience, and the chances are you're going to experience that one-of-a-kind Polish hospitality. I know it seems like we have everything here, right? A simple life, good food, the best friends, but do you kind of think sometimes that maybe it would be right to give the U.S. just one more chance?
No, William, come on. I think we learned our lesson the first time. We're happy here. We have the best life in Poland. Let's stay.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.